Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Leslie. If you haven't been here before, you've wandered across my little corner of the internet. Excuse the shadow, I had to turn on an extra light today as we are cloudy and dark and a little gloomy, so the studio gets a little dark. It's called real life. Um, we're going to look at some Happy Mail. I simply opened the box. I have not physically looked at any of the products, and I have not gone online and spoiled it for myself by watching the uh, video that she puts out from Pink&Main every month. So we are going to discover the Pink&Main May kits together. The first thing we got is some cheer foil. Dragonfly wings. Look at this, guys. It shimmers and it changes color as you turn it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And okay, I know the camera can't catch the detail, but it does look like there's little bits of scale or something for the wings. So that is beautiful. And then to use our foil with in this beautiful package. And by the way, in my waste not, want not policy, I do use these bags. I do not get rid of them. We have our toner sheets for the month, our foilables. Oops, we have a bit of a ripped package there, but I can take care of that with a bit of tape. Now this one is Pink&Main Many Sentiment Strips. And there is a lot of sentiments we can use in there. Whoops. Turn it this way. I know you can't read them, but that gives you an idea of how many sentiments. You're going to get it in black. Where the black is where this toner or whatever toner you choose will stick. So you get a set where the black is the highlight and a set where where the foil is the highlight and a set where the words will foil. Okay? So lots and lots of sentiments to use. And I do believe, if I remember correctly, yes, they even tell you right here on the packaging the steps to using them. So that is perfect. And I will let you know that you don't have to have the Pink&Main machine. You can use a normal high temp, what do they call them? Oh, my mind has gone blank. 1 second, guys. Let me think for 1 second. Of course, my mind is blank. Laminator machine. Oh, my goodness. So then we have this, which is also toner sheets with instructions on the back. And this one is called Little Flyers. Isn't that adorable? That is going to work so beautifully with this dragonfly wings cheer foil. So now we know where the dragonfly wings comes from. That is awesome. So we have that, and now we're going to open our box and see what's inside. I forgot my granddaughter was playing with it. So the next club that we got was this one, and this should be our stamp club. The first one is the foil club. And this one here should be our stamping club. Put that in my recycle there. And it is called Fluttering By. So let's have a look. Oh, these are so cute. Once again, following, whoops, sorry guys. Once again, following the design with the dragonflies. Can you imagine foiling this little guy? He'd be so cute. I love his little buggy eyes. I'll show you up close. See those little buggy eyes? The sentiments are: let your dreams take flight. You flutter into my happiest thoughts, and fluttering by to wish you a happy birthday. Love it. I really, really do. Now, I believe that you are going to have to cut these sentiments out on your own, but that is okay. We can do it. Now, let's get into the courtyard box. Actually, to make more room, I am going to lift it all out and put the box down here. Whoops, sorry guys. There we go. It always comes wrapped in lovely tissue paper, which I keep. I know it's got some holes, that's fine. There are still a lot of uses for it, and I do use it. Waste not, want not, guys. So I am not even sure what this month's theme is. So let's have a look. Every month you get your handy dandy description paper. And if you've never gotten this before and you're just starting out, one of my favorite parts is that they put the card sketches on the back of your description paper so you have something to follow. You know, sometimes even if you're not just starting out, excuse me, even if you've been doing card making for a while, sometimes you get a little stuck. And something like this can just catch the eye and prompt you to try again. So, Blooms and Butterflies is this month's courtyard kit. It comes in this lovely envelope. And yes, I keep it in the envelope. And I label the outside of the envelope. So what we have here is our confetti we get. And I love these confettis. They are absolutely beautiful. I always love their color combos. Then we also have our rainbow enamel shapes. Try and get it a bit closer. Sorry about that shadow, guys. It is what it is today, I'm afraid. Let me see. Maybe I can move you over just a bit and then be able to... There we go. Then we have Dragon Wood Blooms. Hello, friend. Get well soon. Take care. Sending smiles, thinking of you, and happy birthday. There we go. Just set that one aside. This is the dies to cut all of that out. And then we have our embossing folder, which is vintage script. Elizabeth walked about the room after a silence of several minutes. That's kind of cool that it kind of tells a story for us. And then we have our Blooms and Butterfly paper pack. And don't you just love these colors? Oh, they are just so pretty. So we will really enjoy that. There is 24 sheets two of each pattern. So 12 different patterns, 2 sheets of each, and they are nice thick paper. They really don't fool around when they make their paper. Let me see if I can pull out a piece here. You know, their paper is not, but it almost reminds me of cardboard. Like, it's nice and thick. It is not double-sided. It is single-sided, which is okay with me because you get lots of it. So I'm just going to set this aside because I think I'll be using it in our next step. So this is the Pink&Main rub-ons, blooms, and butterflies. May has been quite the month for great kits this year. Like, wow. Actually, I don't think I've had a kit that I have not enjoyed from either Pink&Main or Spellbinders in a long time. And then we have one sheet of vellum somewhere in. Hang on one second. Let's do. This is glitter cardstock. I'll show you again. No matter how hard I rub, I get no glitter on my fingers. So that is a half sheet of that. Okay, we're going to find vellum in here somewhere. Ah, there we go. We get a sheet of 48-pound vellum. I love that they're sending us something different to work with. Oh, thank you so much, Pink&Main. Then we have construction, we have moss, and we have sunny sky. Some great and inspiring colors to go with these beautiful colors. Now, I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to decide on the card that I want to make. And for you, it'll be right away, but I will be back in a few minutes and we'll create a quick and simple card using this month's kit. Okay, guys, I am back and I have decided to pull in my daughter's favorite color, which is green, and I will show you that in just a moment. It is from, oh my goodness. Of course, I picked the one that I did not mark. It is Satin Sage Cheerfoil, okay? So I'm not sure what month it was, but there we go. I'm almost positive you can still get it on the website. And remember, I keep telling you, don't throw your scraps away. Well, here is a perfect example of why. This is a piece of cheerfoil that I had already used, the Satin Sage, and I am able to fit my sentiments on it. Now, this brush is just simply for my cheerfoil. Nothing else touches it. I don't use it for dusting off glitter or anything else. I just want to keep the dust off of these because what happens is you can see there is no foil where the dust was. So these fit perfectly there. So that is what we're going to do with that. Now over here, I am using this month's dragon wing foil, sorry, and I am using part of a toner sheet. Now here is a little bit of tape damage. It came that way, and that's just fine. You get so much. I cannot remember. 25 feet. So a little bit of damage is okay. Always dusty, dusty. The front where you're laying your foil, give it a good dust, and dust the back of your foil, especially if you have pets, because foil just attracts everything. And there we go. Now I'm going to lay it kind of centered where it will not hit that taped section. Okay, there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock, and all it does is prevent the foil from getting on my carrier sheet, which I will show you in 1 second. Okay, so what I did was I just grabbed a piece of paper, and I'm going to lay this on it and make sure it's exactly where I need it to be, just like so. And then this one, I am going to cut down so that I can do the two at once. And I am not throwing this away. There is still plenty of usable foil here. And so I will set it aside and it will go back in its box. And so now I'm going to turn this way. So just remember, the side that goes to your sentiment or your paper, your foiling, is situated so that you're looking at your design. And that is how you know that your foil will stick. So you just want to do it this way. And then I'm just going to cover these, and wherever the black is will become the green. Whatever the black is will become the dragon wing silver. Okay, so as I was saying, you want the side that you want to see to be facing up away from your sentiments or your backgrounds. And hang on to your scraps, people. They do come in very useful. Now, I have never done this before, but I'm doing it today. Just give me 1 second here. No, I better not do it. I don't want to damage my machine. I'm going to set those aside and you will see the top of the Mink machine. I have the wider one. It was the one I was sent. There is a smaller one. Either one works very well. Like I said, you can use a laminating machine, but, and this is a big caveat, it will not quite look the same. The Mink machine is specifically temperature calibrated to work with the foil. So it works its magic, and it looks the exact way you want it to look. Using a laminating machine, of course, you don't get the same preset temperature, so you're not going to get quite the same effect. I'm not saying it won't work. It just may not work quite the same. Now this is a carrier sheet, and this is what I was protecting with my using my paper here. Because remember, cheer foil sticks to whatever has toner. But at the same time, If there's a little bit of toner from a previous project I may have done and forgotten to use the sheet, it's going to stick to my carrier sheet. So I am very diligent now to be sure to use a piece of paper. It will not hurt the paper, it will not burn, nothing like that. Okay. The first couple of times I used my machine, there was a bit of a smell, of course, the burn off that occurs, but after that it was fine. However, I do always use my machine with a window open or the door if it's a nice day, whatever I need to do. Sometimes when I haven't used it in a bit, I can smell, like when you start the furnace, you smell that dusty, burnt smell. You can get a little bit of that, but nothing that will hurt you. So on my machine, I've set it to number 3, and we are just waiting for it to finish heating up. I'm just going to set this in front here. So there we go. I have pulled from my supplies the green, and the rest is from this month. Now what I am going to do, I see, there we go. Now you always want to feed your carrier sheet through just like so with the closed end first. Keep in mind that if your carrier sheet ever gets stuck and it gets all wrinkled and damaged, you do not want to reuse that carrier sheet. It will continue to get stuck. Don't ask me how I know, but I intimately know how to get them out of the machine now. And trust me, it takes a lot of muscle. But here we go. So on this side, you'll see a P for power, and on this side, you'll see F and B, forwards and backwards. However, you should never have to feed your toner through more than once. Keep in mind that these different buttons are for different things. You can use this to actually laminate. So if you were to purchase one, you would not have to purchase a laminating machine. The other thing to keep in mind is that while mine works perfectly with foil on number 3, as we all know, craft machines can be finicky, and yours might work better for foil on number 4. It's suggested number 3, but play with it. Get it to where your machine works for you. Keep in mind if you buy the bigger machine that it does take a lot of space feeding out the back. And now we are done, so I'm immediately turning it off. Now, some of you have asked me why I keep a metal baking rack and a heat sheet underneath. I am using it on top of the magnetic mat that I use to keep the glass mat from glaring during my videos. And so I just don't want the heat from this, which is hot. This is not a project you leave children alone with, to melt my magnetic mat. So now I immediately, since I am done with it, unplug my machine. I never ever leave it plugged in. I know you guys are always messaging me about how paranoid I am and I'm overly cautious, but you know what? I've seen the results of not being cautious enough, and I don't want that for myself or my family. And I just set it behind me there, and I will put the rack under it. And there we go, guys. It sits on the floor to cool off. And I can show you how our foiling turned out. So let's have a look. We just open the folder here. And as you can see, it seems to have worked. Our paper is good for another go around, so I am just going to store it in there. Much easier, and it prevents me from losing another carrier sheet because I don't see it. So here we go, guys. Let's peel our dragonflies first. And keep in mind, there we go. Oops. That is how they turned out. Keep in mind that this here piece, where you can see the dragonflies, this can be used on a basic toner sheet, and wherever that toner is, of course, is going to melt onto the sheet. So that would be beautiful. Don't waste it. Now here is our scrap piece. Whoops, come on. Our happy birthday. And we've overtoned a little bit, but that's okay. We can just take our brush or our nail if it's being too stubborn. There we go. So that the black was the word. The toner was the word. And on this one, we went opposite and we did the words without toner and the background with toner. And so that is the two different effects that you can get. Now, I do know some people who make their own toner sheets. You know what, guys? Pink&Main doesn't charge that much for them. There are other companies that offer them that don't charge that much. It's much cheaper to buy a package loaded like these two. Like, look at all the sentiments. You're set for a long time. Than it is to make your own, because it takes a lot of toner. All right, I'm going to clean up this part of my mess, and I'll be right back to construct this card with you. Okay, guys, I have cleaned up most of my mess. I mean, there's still the rest of the kit to put away, but we're using it as we go. And I have decided to use the moss paper. And before you guys all have a heart attack, I promise you, it is perfectly fine to use something that is not a white card base. Lightning will not strike, so on and so forth. Now, I did, while we were gone, pick out, sorry guys, there it is. Pick out my sentiment, the one that I wanted to use. And after laying them both on the background, I decided to use the darker one, the one with more foiling. And then I'm going to use this piece here as my background to my card. So what I did was I made a base card using my paper trimmer and just the piece of cardstock. And now, whoops, I am holding it very firmly and just doing that. That's simple. And you now have your A2 card. Now, I believe, whoops. Yes. No, I'm going to go with this one. This one that is already not foiled, I will put back in my packaging, but this one that I have foiled, I'm going to trim a bit smaller. I was thinking I wanted it to fill the whole card, but I do think I want some of that sage to show through. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer back. And here we go. I'm going to take off the teeniest bits. Oops. I'm going to turn it this way just because I like the measuring system that is here. So what I want to do is just take off a 1/4 of an inch. A 1/4 is marked right there. There we go. And I'll keep this because I will use it in another card if I need just a bit of trim. And let's have a look. Oh, yes. Okay. That is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to do the same here. I tend to eyeball my layers. I know. Please do not come at me. Then, no, that's too much. I'm going to go back a little bit more. Right to there. I don't want quite as much showing top to bottom. So that one is even thinner, and let's see what we end up with. Perfect. Now I'm going to move it this way just a bit, and that is because I want my sentiment to hang off of the corner, just like that. So there you go. My sentiment will hang off of the corner. So I wanted a bit more of the green to really bring out the sentiment with. She is not a fancy, I need a lot of bling type of girly. So, whoops. I tend to keep her cards as basic as I can. So here we go, which is kind of a blessing for me, not because I don't want to do her, high bling fancy girly cards, but because she does live in a different province, and so I'm mailing. And I'm always nervous that the bling that I do add, will end up falling off. Beginner tip for card makers is to use wet glue the first few times you're layering, because you're going to want to be able to move it around. I guarantee it. Just like that, and we have it on there. Whoops. Little bit of our glue showed through. And now we are going to take our sentiment and we are going to, oh, I see some damage there. I'm going to cover that up right there like that. Nope. I'd say more up here, and we'll ignore that. I'm not sure where that came from. I'll have to check my carrier sheet. Now, I just realized I made a boo-boo. I'm going to grab some foam tape. Alrighty, so I've got the foam tape here. And I am just going to stick it on there. Now, a lot of you ask where I get my foam tape. Do I get it off Amazon? I have done that. And I have gone to the dollar store. And it has, from either place, always worked beautifully. So here we go. Now, because this one did come from the dollar store and it is an older one, I want to play it safe. Just add a bit of my own. And I am going to place my happy birthday right there like that. Now the decision becomes, knowing that she is very much a simple card person, very much not a lot of bling. In fact, this might be, whoops, too much bling for her. I think that I might leave it be. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it be because she's going to enjoy all the shimmering effects, but she wouldn't want more than that. So, a nice, simple, basic card. You can get tons of colors of cheer foil. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I took a minute to pause, kind of gather my thoughts, and clean up a little bit. So, like I just finished saying, this is a nice, simple, basic card. You could change your colors, you could use the butterflies, you could use your sentiment without foiling it at all. There are many ways to change this card up a little, but this will make my daughter happy, and that is, of course, my goal. Now, a quick reminder that I am taking the next month off. Um, I am actually flying to my youngest daughter's home uh, in a different province in less than a week, and I will be staying until mid June, at which point I will come back. My husband and myself, I should say. And we'll take a couple of days to get things back in order here at the house. And then I'll be back with more videos. I hope that you guys get some time to yourselves to craft, create, do whatever it is you like to do, read, play games, whatever fills your cup. And I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye.